Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into Jeffrey Moore's incredible framework for high-tech marketing. We're going to figure out why some of the most amazing tech products make it big, while others just fizzle out and fail.
So let's kick things off with a scenario that is literally every entrepreneur's worst nightmare. Picture this. You've built a groundbreaking product. Your first customers, these real visionaries, they absolutely love it. The press is raving, calling you the next big thing. But behind the curtain, your company is burning through cash and you are staring bankruptcy right in the face. How on earth does that happen? You know, this isn't just some made-up story. It's an all-too-common tale in tech. Year one, it's all high fives and excitement. But then year two hits, and the growth just slams on the brakes. The sales team can't seem to close new deals, but the spending keeps on climbing. By year three, you're what Moore calls a zombie enterprise. You're not really alive, but you can't quite die either. The dream has turned into a total nightmare.
So what in the world went wrong? Well, the fatal mistake is right here. The company saw that first rush of success and thought, great, we're on our way to the big time. But they weren't. What they thought was the beginning of a huge mainstream trend was really just a tiny blip from a very small, very specific group of customers. They completely misread the map.
To really get to the bottom of this, we need a proper diagnosis. And it all starts with a classic model that explains how new technologies spread, something called the technology adoption life cycle.
Now, this model breaks down the market into 5 types of people. You start with the innovators. These are the tech enthusiasts who just love new stuff because it's new. Right after them are the early adopters, the visionaries, who can see how your tech gives them a massive strategic advantage. And then, in theory, you just glide right into the mainstream market. The early majority, late majority, and finally, the skeptics. The model makes it look like you're Tarzan, swinging easily from one vine to the next. But here's the thing. That's a total illusion. It's not a smooth swing at all. In reality, there's a huge, terrifying crack in the ground between those first 2 groups and everyone else. A gap so big and so dangerous that most companies fall right into it and are never seen again. This, my friends, is the chasm. So why is the chasm even there? Well, it all comes down to a fundamental clash of values. Your visionaries, they live for radical change. They want a quantum leap. They're excited by risk, and they want to be the first ones to try something new. But the pragmatists, the first big chunk of the mainstream market, they're the exact opposite. They want small, safe, predictable improvements. For them, risk is a 4-letter word. And here's the kicker. They demand references from companies just like them, which means a visionary is the absolute worst reference you could possibly give to a pragmatist. This quote just says it all. This is exactly how a pragmatist thinks. They see pioneers as the people who get shot down. They have zero, and I mean zero, interest in being a guinea pig for some cool new technology. They want to buy from a proven market leader. Period. All right, so if all your early success with visionaries is basically useless for winning over the mainstream, how in the world do you get across the chasm? Well, you don't just leap. You need a highly focused, disciplined strategy. You need an invasion plan. Moore's analogy for this is just perfect. It's like the D-Day invasion. The Allies didn't try to take all of Europe at once, right? No way. They focused all of their firepower on a single, narrow beachhead. That's what you have to do. Pick one specific niche market and pour everything you have into winning it. Drive out the competition. Become the undisputed leader there, and only then do you use that beachhead as a secure base to expand from. But just picking a niche isn't quite enough. To actually win that beachhead, you have to provide something Moore calls the whole product. And this is a really critical idea where so many companies stumble. They think their awesome core technology is enough. It's not even close. See, the whole product isn't just the software you ship or the gadget in the box. That's just the core, the generic product. Pragmatists need the whole experience. They need the expected product, the training, the support, the basic things they need to actually get their job done. Then there's the augmented product, all the extra stuff that helps them succeed. You have to build or partner to create this entire ecosystem. And that's why your job as a company shifts. It's not just about building your cool tech anymore. It's about orchestrating this whole army of partners and allies to build out the complete solution for your niche. Because for those pragmatist customers, winning the whole product battle means you've won the war.
Okay, so you've got your whole product, you've got your beachhead. Now it's time to arm your invasion force. And you do that by defining the battle inside the mind of your pragmatist customer. This is one of the most interesting parts. It's a bit of a paradox. A pragmatist won't buy anything until they can compare it to something else. But if your product is truly innovative, you might not have any direct competitors yet. So what do? You actually have to create the competition for them. You have to give them a frame of reference. Let's make this real with a great example, the cloud storage company Box. What they did was brilliant. They picked a market alternative. That's the old, clunky way people were doing things. In this case, Microsoft SharePoint. That defines the problem, and more importantly, it defines the budget. Then they picked a product alternative, another new tech player, Dropbox. And they used that comparison to show what made them unique. This simple 2x2 grid instantly tells that pragmatist buyer everything they need to know. It says, okay, Box is for companies that want the ease of use you get with Dropbox, but with the enterprise-grade security you're used to from SharePoint. Suddenly, the product makes sense, it's understandable, and the most important part, it becomes easy to buy. So, getting across the chasm isn't just about a clever marketing plan. It actually requires a deep, fundamental shift in the entire identity of your company. It's about changing your company's very soul. Moore describes this as moving from a company of pioneers to a company of settlers. Pioneers are your brilliant innovators. They love working with visionaries and building amazing custom solutions. You absolutely need them to get your company off the ground. But after the chasm, that one-off custom approach becomes a huge problem. You now need settlers. These are the disciplined, market-focused people who build standardized products, create reliable infrastructure, and methodically take over market share. And that really brings us to the final critical question you have to ask yourself. Is your company built to discover new land, or is it built to settle it? Knowing which phase you're in and having the guts to make the necessary changes in your strategy, your focus, and even your people, that's the real key to not just surviving the chasm, but leaving it far, far behind.